When you come across a young person with a costly watch, a super fancy car, and a massive house, you might think you're dreaming. Or you've just met Barron Trump, the youngest son of Donald Trump. He's known for being born into a very wealthy family. But if you're curious about how Barron spends his vast money, you no longer have to wonder. You should reconsider if you ever thought Barron Trump would have a typical childhood. Growing up as the youngest child of former President Donald Trump and his wife Melania was a unique experience. Barron grew up as an only child with siblings much older than him. While his dad was busy with presidential duties, his mom was there for him, taking care of him and even cooking his breakfast and packing his lunches. Donald Trump initially hesitated about naming his son Barron, but he ultimately proved to be a loving and dedicated father. Despite his demanding schedule, Trump consciously tried to carve out quality time with Barron and his other children. It's evident that despite the unconventional circumstances of growing up in the public eye, Barron was consistently enveloped in love and received unwavering support from his family. Barron Trump, the youngest of Donald Trump's children, grew up in a wealthy and privileged environment. Despite this, he's been trying to find his interests, particularly in golf and soccer. His father, Donald, is really into golf and has been trying to get Barron into it, but Barron seems more keen on soccer. Barron is also good with technology and can hack into his dad's computer fast. Despite all the fancy gifts and attention he gets, Barron seems to be a bit more laid back than his dad. Melania closely watches him, and Donald tries to bond with him over golf. Barron is going to make his mark no matter what. Oh, and the gifts he got as a baby were pretty over the top, like a golden stroller with a chandelier and even a horse. Not all of the presents that Barron received were merely luxurious items. One particular standout was a high-end skincare lotion crafted from caviar, a gift from his mother Melania while he was still young. As part of his nightly routine, Barron would be adorned in this moisturizer from Melania's skincare line, infused with the luxurious essence of caviar. While most infants are content with discovering their toes, Barron received this exceptionally lavish treatment every evening. However, it's important to note that Melania and Trump were deeply committed to Barron's education. Under Melania's guidance, they pursued an incredibly high standard in this regard. Barron Trump's education has been quite costly. He attended prestigious schools like Columbia Grammar, St. Andrews, and Oxbridge Academy, which came with hefty tuition fees. For example, his tuition at Columbia Grammar was higher than many people's yearly salaries. Later, he went to St. Andrews Episcopal School in Maryland, where the tuition was around $40,000. Barron had unique experiences at these schools, such as taking his whole fifth-grade class on a field trip to the White House and being escorted by the Secret Service. After leaving the White House, Barron went to Oxbridge Academy in Florida, a fancy school that costs $38,000 a year. Now he's off to college in New York, but we don't know which one yet, maybe NYU or Columbia. No matter where he ends up, Barron's education will be top-notch. With an education like that, it wouldn't be surprising if Barron became even wealthier than his father. I mean, the Donald is pretty successful. Still, Barron starts with $80 million right after high school, which is pretty extraordinary. At just 18 years old, Barron Trump is already super rich, with a net worth of about $100 million. While most teens are considering part-time jobs, Barron is busy making money from real estate and stocks. A big part of his wealth comes from his dad, Donald Trump, who is worth around $3 billion. Thanks to his mom, Melania, who is renegotiating her prenup, Barron is set to inherit even more money. But he's not just waiting around for his inheritance. He's already investing in real estate, owning a $19 million mansion with a golf course. He's also invested in big companies like Alphabet and Amazon, showing that even at 18, he's aiming for colossal success. Barron is a college student diligently working towards shaping his future. Despite his youthful status, he has already begun to amass considerable wealth. His substantial earnings stem from astute investments in real estate properties, not mere simulations but actual physical properties. Additionally, Barron exhibits a discerning taste for elegant suits, particularly when attending formal dinner engagements. Barron Trump, the son of former President Donald Trump, has an impressive real estate portfolio that includes the iconic Mar-a-Lago estate in Palm Beach, Florida, and a luxurious penthouse in Trump Tower, New York City. Mar-a-Lago, situated on a sprawling 17-acre property, boasts 58 bedrooms, 33 bathrooms, and even 3 bomb shelters. The estate features a private beach club and a grand ballroom and serves as a serene retreat where Barron enjoys his leisure time. Meanwhile, in New York City, Barron resided in a prestigious penthouse that occupied its floor within the renowned Trump Tower. Remember the $9 million mansion in New Jersey? Barron can enjoy a huge house, a golf course, and a swimming pool. It's a great place to relax after a busy day. Just like his dad, Barron knows how to pick excellent properties. And like Donald, he also loves super fancy and expensive cars. Barron Trump, 18 years old, has an impressive car collection that includes 3 expensive and luxurious cars. One of the cars in his collection is the Ferrari SF90 Stradale, a powerful and costly hybrid car with almost 1,000 horsepower. It's safe to say that Barron is not too concerned about the environmental impact of his car choices. Check out this Ferrari and Lamborghini. The Ferrari can go from 0 to 60 miles per hour fast, leaving most sports cars behind. It feels like a jet on wheels. And then there's the Lamborghini Huracan. It's a powerful car with over 600 horsepower and an excellent design. Even if you're tall and young, this car doesn't do subtle. It costs around $350,000 and can handle both racetracks and city streets with style. Barron also has a Mercedes G-Wagon, a luxury SUV that costs around $200,000. It's tough enough for his Secret Service team, but also stylish for fancy events. It has a strong engine and all-wheel drive, so it can handle almost any terrain, like how the Trumps deal with real estate auctions. For Barron, these cars show off his family's wealth. While most teenagers get used cars, Barron's collection is about power and luxury. The rest of us wonder, can I at least get a ride? The answer is usually no. Even Melania rarely gets to ride with Barron these days, unlike when he was a child when they rode in the family's famous Rolls-Royce Phantom. But cars aren't the only thing that brings the family together. Barron inherited his mother's sense of style, especially when it comes to high-quality accessories. Barron Trump has an incredible collection of high-end fashion and fancy watches that most of us could only dream of owning. For instance, he has a watch that costs more than many people's cars. One of his watches, an Audemars Piguet Royal Oak, is worth $95,000. It's not just any watch, it's a super fancy one designed by a legendary watchmaker. If Barron were a superhero, his power would be making everyone else's watches look like they came from a cheap store. Barron also has a costly watch called Patek Philippe Nautilus, which costs $150,000. It's not just a fancy watch, it's like an investment because it's super valuable. It's like carrying a treasure with you all the time in case you need to impress someone or get out of a challenging situation. Barron has a relaxed but stylish look when it comes to his clothes. It's clear that Melania greatly influenced Barron's upbringing, and he's known for being a grounded and kind person. He's also into soccer, which is a pretty ordinary hobby. Even though he may play in fancier settings, he's just like us. Or at least like someone who enjoys soccer. After all, a 0-0 score isn't very exciting, especially after 90 minutes of play. Even though I wouldn't say I like soccer, my son Barron is obsessed with the game. While his dad is off buying fancy golf clubs, Barron is hanging out with soccer superstars like Wayne Rooney. Can you believe he got a World Cup souvenir ball from Vladimir Putin and uses it as a paperweight? Barron treasures these kinds of souvenirs like his ticket to the sports world. The only thing that doesn't make sense is why a famous Manchester United player would give tips to a fan of their rival team, Arsenal. But let's not start talking about soccer rivalries in front of Barron. He probably knows more about it than I do anyway. When Barron Trump isn't playing soccer, he's busy working on his golf swing. He hits the golf course twice a week and is good at it. It's like he's playing in a fancy tournament. But golf isn't his only hobby. He also loves skiing and heads to Aspen, Colorado to ski on the best snow. When Barron skis, he looks like he's training for the Olympics, but in a stylish way. Barron Trump enjoys hobbies that reflect his upbringing and show how games like golf and soccer can become art when you live a luxurious life. For him, it's not just about playing, it's about playing with style. You might have expected Donald Trump's son to have different interests, but he's just a regular 18-year-old. Unlike many other kids from wealthy families, Barron seems quite down to earth, even though he has $100 million in his bank account. Consider how some other kids spend their parents' money. You'll see that Barron is just a normal kid. For example, Beyoncé and Jay-Z's daughter received a $600,000 gold rocking horse as a gift, and now buys $80,000 in jewelry as if it's no big deal. But that's nothing compared to what Eve Jobs does with her late father's money.